Style. Joseph Conrad is generally famous for his exotic style. How does it show in the story The Lagoon? Conrad is generally fond of using a lot of adjectives, especially when he introduces description. In his descriptive passages, he introduces adjectives in clusters. Now, try to find such passages in the text and explain the intention of the writer to employ a bunch of adjectives. In the exposition of the story, where Conrad refers to description, he introduces a lot of synonyms. Adjectives such as motionless, unstirring, stagnant, silent, mute, nouns, stillness, immobility, verbs, look, gaze, glance. And we know that synonyms generally reveal different aspects, shades, and variations of the same phenomena. In linguistics, synonyms are defined as words of the same category of parts of speech conveying the same meaning, but different either in shades of meaning or in stylistic characteristics. Keeping in mind that English was not Conrad's mother tongue, can you notice how he manages to choose the most suitable word in every context? Can you discern the various connotations in the meanings of synonyms? Synonyms are also defined as words with the same denotation, the same denotative component, but differing in connotations, connotative components. Denotative component expresses the conceptual content of a word. The leading semantic component in the semantic structure of a word is usually termed denotative component, and additional semantic components are termed connotations or connotative components. Now, find as many synonyms in the story as possible and define their linguistic essence. Single out the denotative and connotative components of meanings of the synonyms. And now let us try to identify stylistic devices. There is no worse enemy and no better friend than a brother. The statement seems rather self-contradictory, even absurd at first, but in fact it might turn out to be true. Can you identify which stylistic device it is and what function it has in the text? Water that shone smoothly like a band of metal, enormous conflagration of sunset, rising like a black and impalpable vapor above the treetops. One of the simplest and also the most effective devices, both in poetry and prose, is the use of comparison. The examples above allow the two ideas or objects to remain distinct in spite of their similarities. In what way do the above comparisons serve the intensification of the concept? What is this stylistic device called, and in what way is it different from ordinary comparison? In that fleeting and powerful disturbance of his being, the earth enfolded in the starlight peace became a shadowy country of inhuman strife, a battlefield of phantoms, terrible and charming, august and ignoble, struggling ardently for the possession of our helpless hearts. Why the earth compared to a battlefield of phantoms? This language device compares seemingly unrelated objects and equates two ideas despite their differences. Which stylistic device is it, and in what way does it differ from the previous ones, which also compare two ideas or objects? In the stillness of the air, every tree, every leaf, every bough, every tendril of creeper, and every petal of minute blossoms seem to have been bewitched into an immobility perfect and final. A rumor powerful and gentle, a rumor vast and faint, the rumor of trembling leaves, of stirring boughs, ran through the tangled depths of the forests. What language device is called the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of every clause? Are there more examples of this kind in the text? somber and dull, stood motionless and silent on each side of the broad stream. Sunset put out by the swift and stealthy shadows, but her big eyes, wide open, glittered in the gloom. Does the writer create melodic effect by using this stylistic device? He repeats similar consonant sounds in a very close succession. Can you identify which stylistic device it is? And now about epiphany. In literature, epiphany means a sudden revelation, recognition of an important and underlying truth by a character. It can result in rebirth and renewal of a character. The term is taken from the Greek word which means a manifestation by the gods of their divinities to mortal eyes. And it was first applied to literature by James Joyce, who called his early experimentations with short prose passages epiphanies. Where and when does epiphany occur in the story The Lagoon? Now find passages in the story showing Arset's inner conflict. Write out emotive vocabulary from the text and decide in what way the emotive words are connected with the character's inner conflict. "No, Tuan," said Arset softly. "I shall not eat or sleep in this house, but I must first see my road. Now I can see nothing, see nothing. There is no light and no peace in the world, and there is death, but there is death, death for many. We were sons of the same mother, and I left him in the midst of enemies. But I am going back now." Where do you think Arset is going? What kind of world outlook is professed by the character?